let's start in the trenches because I feel like both these teams, they play bully ball mentality on both sides of the offense and defense. They want to physically impose their will. So let's start 49ers offense and let's go Steelers defensive line and let's just break down what your thoughts are, where the advantages, disadvantages, all those things. So let me just list off. We know R5, Trent Williams, Banks, Brindle, Burford, McKivitz. That's our front starting five. Going against now the way that they line up in their traditional 3-4, they're an odd man front. So their front line, Cameron Hayward, Adams, Ogunjobi. And then their two outside rushers, you got Highsmith and TJ Watt. Alex Highsmith coming off a really, really, really good year. So, Wayne, let's just talk through this. Whenever I went through those names, what was the one that was just like, this is going to be interesting?
So I'm going to start with the down lineman, right? Like the front, post the edge rushing. I mean, everybody's going to talk about TJ Watt, but they got to forget they got a super duper like all pro every year Pro Bowl like defensive end. Well, whatever you want to call him, like and Cameron Hayward, right? And so like I'm starring him like he can possibly be a problem for the San Francisco front. And so like you got to figure out a way to negate him and to neutralize him. I think you can do things with TJ Watt to take him out of the pass rushing situations by how you attack, right? And so would I run to Watt's side? Probably. I would try to get him to get to the outside and make as many tackles as he can and tire his ass out. I also would try to put him in pass coverage and force him to be a pass covering defensive end, right? And so looking at our guys on our skill set from our offense, there's many ways they can manipulate that and take advantage of that. You could put a linebacker, you could put a running back on him and Christian McCaffrey. You could put a tight end there. He's going to have to force a coverage anyway. Now, if he beats it, that's a quick throw to a wide open pass catcher for Brock Purdy. And we talk about Brock Purdy's strength. And we talk about one thing he's good at, and it's hot reads, getting the ball out of his hand quick. Like those are the things where he excels probably better than, I don't know, maybe any quarterback in the league. And I know people are going to be like, oh, you a homer. Nah, G, he get the ball out the hand quick, man, quicker than Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes needs to play to break down, and then he just looks phenomenal, right?
Yeah, he's different.
Brock Purdy is really notorious at high. I see you. And think about it. If Purdy is advancing, if Purdy is progressing, if Purdy is looking at that front and like, Mike, you know, whatever, hot 17, 84, 46, boom, quick throw, bam, it's yards, right? And then you get your pass catchers to turn into yak guys. And so to me, I would attack TJ Watt. I would find a way to neutralize Cameron Hayward. And as far as like the other edge rusher that you were talking about, Highsmith, I mean, look, he had a phenomenal year last year.
Just got paid.
And then it's not Friday night, right? It'll be Sunday. So at the end of the day, they got a notorious defense, you know, up front. If that's where we're starting, they're notorious. They got their best pass rusher available, and they could be a problem. But you know, the 49ers are going to have to figure out how to neutralize that. I'm sure TJ Watt, John, not to sound long-winded, is going to try to take advantage of the right side, right? He's going to try to take advantage of Colton McKivitz and the right side, period. So that's going to be interesting to watch. See how we find a way to negate it. I say get them linemen out there. Boom, boom, boom. Quick screens. Take them out to play. Get them tired.
He likes to go off the offensive left side or defensive left side, offensive right side. So yeah, like that's predominantly where TJ Watt plays. And so, you know, one of the things I want to see is whenever they leak out Christian McCaffrey and it looks like he's going to chip on that defensive end and then just spins around instead, like start doing some of those fun things. You know what I mean? And, you know, allow Shanahan to do his thing. But this is probably one of the biggest issues for me in this game. Look at Big Papa. He says Trent Williams, McKivitz strength is pass pro. He's
not lying.
That's
not
fact.
lying. He's
and
not
so
lying at all.
this area on this side of the ball, I don't like it. Now the Niners offensive line's fine, but I think this is probably the biggest strength on the entire game, special teams, offense, defense. This is the Steelers' way that they win right here.
Is it because of the dominance year after year from what you've seen from TJ Watt, minus obviously the injury year? Or is it because of the I don't know if Colton McKivitz and Spencer Burford on that right side is going to be able to hold up? Like, which one is
I'm
it
not
more?
that concerned about Colton McKivitz, to be honest with you. Not in pass pro. Will TJ Watt beat him? Probably at some point. But like I'm telling you right now, Ogunjobi's pretty solid. Highsmith is great. Cameron Hayward is a 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro.
Told you.
Like, this is a talented group. And the reason why the Steelers have not had a losing season in, what is it, like 15 damn years? It's because the fundamentals on the defensive side of the ball and Mike Tomlin. Now, you could talk about, who their
Keyword,
Austin,
John, fundamentals, keyword.
It's just solid. It's just solid. So this is not one of the ones where I'm tilting the scale to the 49ers. It just doesn't make sense. I started there for a reason because I think that this is their strength, probably not our strength. Now, let's go to the next position. Let's talk the 49ers tight ends and running backs versus their linebackers.
See, that's the advantage 49ers. Right.
Huge.
And this is what Kyle wants to look to exploit, right? And so that's why I was saying, like, no, I'm not saying it's end all be all with George Kittle, but where does George Kittle feast? Over the middle.
Yeah, over the middle. The seam, all that's yeah.
Like and so like with him not being there in the receiving portion of the game, or him not being there, period, the Niners will have to figure out a different way to fabricate some of that. Now listen, I said that tight end 1 would be Ross Dwelly, but he's not George Kittle. No. And do you trust a rookie? No. Right? As much as talented as Braden Willis is,
I never saw Braden Willis get 1 rep with the ones.
Not
all training camp, all preseason.
Not
1 rep.
1. So you can't trust that. And now you're asking Charlie Warner to go out there and to be that. That's not his game. He's not he can blocker. Catch, but he can block. Run, right? Run. So like I'm just saying, like to me, that is what I would circle right there. And I'm not saying you can't fabricate it and get Elijah Mitchell or Christian McCaffrey or any one of those guys on those linebackers. But man, you want to dominate on the road in week 1? You want your best player available at that position. And we don't know if it's going to happen, but hey, we're here for it. So I'm hoping Kittle practices like you said, and he goes out there because start him in fantasy football that week if he plays.
Oh, big time. If he plays, you start him. And I have him in several of my fantasy leagues, and I don't have another tight end. And so I'm just sitting, and I'm just like, I'm going to wait till freaking Saturday and the inactives are announced, and then I'll swap a late tight end in.
Smart guy.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.